Hey everybody, Dave Giltner with TurningScience. I help scientists and engineers design and build rewarding careers in industry. So I talk a lot about networking and about how important networking is to finding a job, how the best jobs really come from personal connections that you've made rather than just submitting resumes online. But the question I get back a lot is, okay, fine, but how do we make all these great connections? Well, there are a lot of different ways, and I can't really give you any one best answer. You need to be creative and find ways to meet people in the industries you want to work in, based on where you want to take your career. But today I want to tell you about one particular thing that worked for me. I want to tell you about how I got a job from working with a volunteer organization. So about 8 years ago, I found myself out of a job. I'd been working at a small company that had been acquired by a larger company, and after a couple of years, they decided to shut down our site and consolidate the operations into California and Singapore. So unless I wanted to move, I was out of a job and I had to find a new one. Now, in the previous few years, I really had not been doing a very good job of building my network like I should. I was a site manager, I was in charge of an engineering team, and I just had not put that additional effort into building a network on the side or continuing to foster my network. Well, that was my bad. So I was faced with the question of how do I get out and meet people locally at the companies that I might want to work for and start building that network again so that I could get another job. So my background is photonics, or lasers and optics, and sometime earlier I had joined the board of directors of the Colorado Photonics Industry Association, or CPIA for short. CPIA is a membership association, which means that all of these local companies join so that they have access to resources that help their business. And I joined this because years before, when I had moved to the area, I thought, if I want to stay here for a long time and I want to build a career in this area, it would really benefit me to meet a lot of the people at the companies around the area, to really be well networked in this area. That would be an element of job security for me. Now, this was a volunteer gig. Being on the board of directors, it was not paid. It didn't take a lot of time, number of hours a month, but I thought it was a great way to both give back, but also to meet a lot of people. Now, by the time I lost my job, I was actually president of this association. CPIA was always concerned about how we could best help our members. And so as president, I thought this could be a great opportunity to go out and meet these companies. I could probably call them up and say, I'd like to come and talk to you about how CPIA helps your company and about what more we could do to help them better than we do right now. So I just started with a list of member companies, picked the ones that were local that I could easily access within an hour drive, and I started calling them. Say, hey, I'm Dave Giltner, president of CPIA, and I'd like to come by and talk to you for 20 minutes about what our association does to help your company and what about what more we might be able to do to help it in the future. Well, most of them said yes. So all of a sudden, I had a list of about 25 local companies who were willing to let me come by and talk to some senior person about how I could help their companies. It was great, and it was a very genuine connection. This was about me stopping by to talk about something I was genuinely interested in. How could CPIA help their company? It was a great way to build a connection with them around something totally separate from finding a job. Well, the meetings went well. I got some valuable information for CPIA, but I'd also had an opportunity to build connections with senior people at all these companies in the area that I might want to work for. And I also made a habit afterwards of following up with them and keeping the connection strong. If I had an opportunity to speak to them at a meeting or see them at a conference, I'd always go over and talk to them and make sure I was building that connection. So the payoff came a few months later when I noticed one of the companies I had spoken with posted a job that I was interested in. Rather than just submit a resume online, I called up my contact and said, hey, this is Dave Giltner. You may remember when we spoke a few months ago about CPIA. And he said, yes, I do. I really appreciated your conversation. I appreciate that you came by to speak with us. And I know the hiring manager. I will forward your information on to him and make sure he follows up with you. This was great. I had my in. I ended up getting that job, worked there for about 7 years, and it was a great opportunity. So this is just one example of how I found a creative way to make connections through a volunteer gig, and it ultimately got me a job when I really needed it. And of course, I still stay in touch with all these contacts. They're still part of my network. Remember, networking is important for building a career, not just for getting a job. I suggest you go out and look for similar opportunities. Volunteer opportunities are great because they usually don't take a lot of time, but they're a great way to stand out and show you are willing to donate some of your time for a cause. It impresses people, and that's really important to be able to stand out when you're looking for a job. Well, I hope this has been helpful. If you like this video, please like it and share it with your friends. Also, please subscribe to this channel. I post about 2 short videos a month to help you make progress with your career without taking too much of your time. Thanks for watching. Now let's get out there and turn science into things people need.